Hey everyone, welcome back to another massive, wonderful, and incredibly important episode of the English Daily Podcast. This is your absolute favorite spot for real English conversation, easy listening practice, and daily speaking growth. I'm your host, John.
And I'm Sarah. Welcome back, our beautiful global family of language learners. We are so incredibly happy to sit down, open our microphones, and connect with all of you again today. This is the place where you learn real English from real, natural, and easy talk, not from those boring, heavy, and complicated grammar books.
That is so true, Sarah. No boring grammar rules here, just clear, useful, everyday English that you can listen to and use immediately in your daily life. So, Sarah, let's start with a very honest, serious question. Imagine a student opens a giant, heavy English textbook on page 1. They see 50 different grammar rules, 100 long vocabulary lists, and a lot of complex exercises. They study hard for 2 hours, but their head starts to hurt, they feel completely confused, and they think, English is too difficult for me, I want to stop. Have you ever felt that way when you started a new project or a new language?
Oh, John, to be completely honest, that happens to me every time I try to learn something new. Your mind feels completely overloaded, your energy drops to zero, and you just want to close the book and go to sleep. It is a very normal human feeling because when you're a beginner, everything looks giant, like a massive mountain. You don't know which path to take, you don't know which method is best, and you feel completely lost in a sea of information. Millions of A1 and A2 English learners face this exact wall every single day. They have a big dream to speak English fluently, but they start in a very stressful way. They get tired after 2 weeks, and they quit. They think they lack talent, but that is a complete lie.
Exactly, Sarah. It is not a lack of talent at all. They just don't have the correct strategies. They are trying to run a marathon on day 1 without learning how to walk first. Learning English is actually like building a beautiful house using simple, solid bricks. You don't need to build the whole roof today. You just need to put down one good brick every morning. And that is exactly why our topic today is so vital, so practical, and completely viral.
I love that, John. A beautiful house built brick by brick. This is going to be an absolutely magnificent and life-changing episode for our community. Every single language learner who is starting their journey needs to save this script in their favorite notebook today.
Right, Sarah, because today's topic is top 5 English tips for beginners. We want to destroy the fear of learning today. We want to show our listeners that improving your English can be a relaxed, joyful, and smooth experience. We are going to share 5 modern, highly effective tips that will accelerate your progress, protect your motivation, and help you speak English naturally without any stress.
Perfect, John. A safe and gentle map for success. But before we reveal our 5 golden tips, we want to ask our amazing community for a small, quick favor.
Yes, a very small favor. If you love learning English with us every single day on the English Daily Podcast, please click that like button right now. Subscribe to our channel and share this episode with a friend who is also starting to learn English or feels stuck in their progress.
Yes, especially share it with that one friend who always buys expensive books but never opens them because they feel scared. Let's give them a beautiful, encouraging roadmap today. Your wonderful support helps our little channel grow and allows more language learners around the world to enjoy relaxed, real-world English.
Absolutely, Sarah. Your support is our fuel. Now, let's quickly explain our regular learning strategy for today. Sarah and I will speak in comfortable, slow, and clear A1 and A2 level English, but we will gently add just a few useful, slightly stronger words so you can stretch your vocabulary safely.
When we use a new phrase, we will always pause, explain it simply, and give you a real sentence as an example, so you feel 100% secure.
Perfect, John. A safe and gentle level up. So, John, let's open building block number 1. What is our very first golden tip for a beginner language learner?
Tip number 1 is fall in love with phrases, not single words. This is the biggest mistake that almost 90% of beginners make, Sarah. They take a small notebook and they write down a long list of individual single words with their translations. For example, book, car, house, sky, beautiful. Then they spend hours trying to memorize these single words. This is a very slow and inefficient method because single words have no life. When you want to speak in real life, you cannot just throw single words at people. Your brain has to work incredibly hard to connect those words using complex grammar rules, which makes you freeze and hesitate.
Oh, yes, John, the single word trap. It is so exhausting. You know 20 words, but you cannot create a single conversation. How can a beginner use the phrase method instead?
You must always learn a word inside a small phrase block.
A phrase block. Okay, John, explain that simply for our listeners.
For example, instead of just memorizing the single word coffee, you should memorize a common phrase block like have a cup of coffee. Or instead of just memorizing the word movie, you memorize watch a funny movie. When you memorize the whole block together, your brain captures the grammar, the prepositions, and the vocabulary in one clean package naturally, without any struggle.
Ah, I see, John. It is like buying a pre-made sandwich instead of buying bread, cheese, tomatoes, and meat separately and trying to build it yourself when you're starving. When you want to speak, you just pull the whole pre-made phrase block out of your memory vault instantly. For example, you can say, "Every morning I have a cup of coffee and I watch a short video." This is so smooth and fast.
Exactly, Sarah. That is the magic power of phrases. It bypasses the slow translation step completely. So listeners, from today, when you learn a new word, look for the words that live around it. Write down the whole short phrase block in your notebook. It makes your speaking speed 3 times faster. Now, Sarah, what is our golden tip number 2?
Tip number 2 is a psychological rule that completely saved my life. Celebrate your mistakes. Don't hide them.
Oh, celebrating mistakes. That is an interesting tip, Sarah. Why should a beginner celebrate a mistake? Usually, mistakes make people feel embarrassed or sad.
Well, John, in school, teachers often used a big red pen to mark our mistakes, right? It made us feel like a mistake was a bad crime or a sign that we were stupid. But in real life, language learning is a physical skill, just like learning to ride a bicycle. When a small child is learning to ride a bicycle, do they ride perfectly on day 1? No. They fall down, they get a small scratch on their knee, they laugh, they get back up, and they try again. The fall is not a failure. It is proof that their body is active and learning how to balance.
Wow, Sarah, that is a beautiful analogy. A fall is just learning how to balance.
Exactly, John. In English speaking, mistakes are your scratches on the knee. Every time you use the wrong preposition or mix up a verb tense, your brain receives valuable feedback. It learns what doesn't work so it can find what does work. If you stay completely silent because you want to be perfect, you will never get any scratches, but you will also never learn how to ride the bicycle. You will stay stuck on the side of the road forever. Fluency means being understood, not being perfect.
Precisely, Sarah. I have a funny personal story about this from my early learning days. I wanted to tell a foreigner that I was very hot because of the summer weather, but I used the wrong word structure and said, "I am a hot man," with a giant smile. The foreigner looked very confused and laughed loudly. I felt so embarrassed and my face turned red like a tomato. But you know what? Because of that funny mistake, I learned the correct structure perfectly, and I never, ever made that mistake again for the rest of my life. The mistake fixed the language in my brain forever.
I am a hot man. Oh, John, that is a hilarious mistake. But it proves the point perfectly. Mistakes create strong memories. When you make a mistake and someone corrects you gently or you realize it yourself, your brain creates a solid connection that blocks that error in the future. So, dear listeners, give yourself permission to be imperfect. Speak in a messy way. Make 10 mistakes a day. Laugh about them and keep going. Mistakes are the footsteps that take you to fluency.
Beautifully said, Sarah. Throw your fear of mistakes into the garbage can. Now, let's move to tip number 3, which is highly practical for daily life. Use the power of 10 minutes.
The power of 10 minutes. Okay, John, tell us about it. Many students think they must study for 2 or 3 hours straight to see any progress. Why is 10 minutes powerful?
This is a major psychological trap, Sarah. Many beginners have a very busy daily life. They have full-time jobs, children to feed, or heavy school schedules. They promise themselves, on Sunday morning, I will sit down in a quiet room and study English for 4 full hours. But when Sunday morning arrives, they feel completely exhausted from the week. They want to sleep or watch a movie, so they skip the study session. Then they feel guilty, they feel overwhelmed, and they do nothing for 2 weeks. This is a disaster for your memory.
Right. Big plans often cause big failures because they don't fit inside a real busy lifestyle.
Exactly, Sarah. The human brain absolutely loves consistency, and it completely hates big shocks. Learning English is like watering a small green plant. If you give the plant a tiny cup of water every single morning, the plant absorbs it deeply and grows strong, beautiful roots. But if you give the plant 0 water from Monday to Saturday, and then on Sunday you pour a giant bucket of water over it all at once, the plant will drown and die. The water just washes away.
Wow, John, that is a perfect image. Pouring a giant bucket drowns the plant.
Yes, Sarah, spreading out your learning is the secret key. 10 short, focused, and happy minutes every weekday morning is 5 times more powerful than a heavy 4-hour session once a month. In 10 minutes, your brain stays completely fresh, you don't experience mental fatigue, and it is highly realistic for any busy schedule. Anyone can find 10 minutes while they are drinking their morning coffee, sitting on the bus, or waiting for their dinner to cook. It fits inside the life you already have right now.
That is an excellent tip, John. 10 minutes is so light that your brain doesn't feel scared to start. It removes the wall of laziness.
Now, Sarah, please reveal our golden tip number 4.
Tip number 4 is the ultimate secret to natural pronunciation and listening. Shadowing is your secret weapon.
Shadowing. We love talking about shadowing on the English Daily podcast, Sarah. Let's explain what it means simply for our A1, A2 beginner family.
Shadowing is a physical speaking exercise where you listen to a native English speaker and you copy their voice with a tiny delay, almost at the exact same time, like a shadow following a person under the sun. You don't just listen, pause the video, and repeat the word. No, you speak with the speaker. You copy their speed, their small pauses, and most importantly, their intonation.
Yes, intonation is the music and the rhythm of the language, Sarah. Beginners often worry too much about grammar rules, but if you have a great rhythm and natural music when you speak, foreigners can understand you perfectly, even if your grammar has small mistakes. English is a very rhythmic language. Shadowing trains your tongue, your lips, and your jaw muscles to remember the physical shapes of English words automatically without translating inside your head. It is pure muscle memory, just like learning a dance or a sport.
Exactly, John. It is a workout for your mouth. Let's show our listeners how a beginner can do a very simple shadowing exercise right now using a short sentence. You say an easy phrase, John, and I'll shadow your voice with a micro delay. Let's show them the rhythm.
Excellent idea, Sarah. Let's do it. Listen closely, everyone, to how Sarah's voice rides the wave of my voice instantly. Small steps create big futures.
Small steps create big futures.
That is exactly what shadowing sounds like.
You don't wait for the sentence to finish, you just follow the sound like a shadow. If our A1 and A2 listeners practice shadowing for just 3 minutes every single day with our podcast episodes, their mouth muscles will become incredibly flexible, their accent will become much softer and more natural, and their speaking confidence will explode.
Yes, John, it is a wonderful tool. Don't worry if you miss a few words at the beginning. Just focus on the music and the melody of the voice. It is a completely safe and effective workout. Now, John, what is our fifth and final golden tip for beginners?
Tip number 5 is the crown of active learning. Use the teach to learn method.
Teach to learn? John, that sounds interesting. How can a beginner teach English if they're just a beginner themselves? They don't know everything yet.
That is a common misunderstanding, Sarah. You do not need to be a world-class professor with a university degree to teach something. The teach to learn method means that whenever you learn one single new English phrase or idiom today, you immediately try to explain it to someone else using your own words. When you try to teach a concept, your brain has to completely reorganize the information, make it clear, simple, and structured. This process forces you to understand the phrase perfectly, and it locks the memory inside your brain permanently.
Ah, I see, John. Teaching forces your brain to become active, not passive. But what if a listener lives alone? What if they don't have a friend, a child, or a student to teach? How can they use this tip?
If you don't have a real person to teach, Sarah, you can use a technique I call the teddy bear professor.
The teddy bear professor. Are we teaching toys now, John?
Yes, Sarah, exactly. Talk to your teddy bear, your cat, your coffee cup, or your bathroom mirror. After you finish listening to this episode, stand up, look at your coffee cup, and say, "Okay, coffee cup, listen to me clearly. Today, I am going to teach you a beautiful English phrase block. The phrase is, have a cup of coffee, and it means to drink coffee in the morning to wake up your brain. Speak out loud, gesture with your hands, and pretend you are an amazing teacher."
That is absolutely brilliant, John. It might look a bit silly if your neighbor looks through the window, but it works like magic. You are using your voice, you are standing up, you are active, and you are transforming the information from something you just heard passively into something you can actively produce. It completely secures the vocabulary inside your memory vault.
Exactly, Sarah. It is all about action. If you just listen to us passively, you're a spectator. If you use phrase blocks, celebrate mistakes, practice 10 minutes a day, do shadowing, and use the teddy bear professor method, you become a master player. Your English will grow steadily every single morning. Now, Sarah, let's talk about a big enemy of beginner language learners that we must protect our listeners from. It is something called the perfectionist prison.
Oh, the perfectionist prison. That is a very dangerous and lonely place, John. Let's explain it simply. Perfectionism is when you believe that if something is not 100% perfect, it is a complete failure. So, the perfectionist prison means a language learner stays completely silent, refuses to speak to foreigners, and refuses to write comments because they are terrified of making a small grammar mistake. They think, if my accent is not perfect like a movie star, I will not open my mouth.
Yes, Sarah, it is a total mental lock. This prison completely destroys your fluency before you even start. Perfectionism makes you feel stressed, it causes high anxiety, and it stops you from getting real-world practice. But listen to me clearly, dear friends. Connection is 1,000 times more important than perfection. The real goal of language is to share a thought, a feeling, or a smile with another human being.
Exactly, John. For example, if a foreigner walks up to you and says, "Yesterday I go to beach and I see dolphin," Their grammar is technically wrong because they used go instead of went, but do you care about the grammar rule? No, you understand them perfectly. You see a beautiful picture of a dolphin in your mind and you say, wow, amazing. The communication was a 100% success.
Yes, Sarah, that is what we call intelligibility, being clear and easy to understand. Don't wait for your English to be perfect to start using it. Break the chains of the perfectionist prison today. Be proud of your simple English, accept the messy stage of learning, and use your voice to connect with the world. Every mistake is just a sign of progress.
Beautifully said, John. Now, we use some remarkably strong, useful, and interesting words in our easy conversation today. I think it is the perfect time for our world-famous daily word tour to help our A1, A2 listeners slow down, analyze the vocabulary simply, and save these words in their long-term memory vault forever.
Excellent idea, Sarah. Let's start our word tour walk. Listen closely, everyone, and try to repeat these words in sentences out loud after us to train your tongue and mouth muscles. Word number 1, interval. An interval is a specific period of time or a gap between two events or actions. In our conversation, we discussed reviewing phrase blocks at regular intervals. For example, you can say, the buses arrive at 15-minute intervals during the morning commute. Or, you should take a small break at regular intervals when you study.
Word number 2,
Intonation. Intonation is a noun that means the way your voice goes up and down when you are speaking, creating the natural music, rhythm, and melody of a language. For example, you can say, shadowing John's voice is a great way to master natural English intonation. Or, using a friendly sentence intonation makes you sound very kind.
Word number 3. Intelligibility is a noun that means the quality of being clear, understandable, and easy to comprehend for another human being. For example, you can say, when you speak English, high intelligibility wins over perfect grammar. Or, the noise from the television reduced the speaker's intelligibility during the call.
word number 4,
Deficit. As we always love to emphasize on the English Daily podcast, a deficit means a shortage, a lack of something, or a situation where you feel you do not have enough of a resource. In language practice, beginners often worry about their vocabulary deficit. For example, you can say, don't let a temporary vocabulary deficit stop you from speaking to people. Or, the factory closed down because it had a massive financial deficit.
Word number 5. Genuine. Genuine is an adjective that means completely real, true, honest, authentic, and sincere, rather than fake, false, or copied. For example, you can say, the international teacher showed a genuine desire to help beginner students. Or, we want to build genuine connections with language learners all around the globe.
And our final word for today's tour, word number 6, competence. Competence is a noun that means the ability to do something successfully, efficiently, or to a high standard. It means you have the real skill and capability. For example, you can say, daily routine practice will quickly build your communicative competence in English. Or, the manager hired the new assistant because she showed high office competence.
Wow, what a magnificent selection of words for today's beginner tour. Interval, intonation, intelligibility, deficit, genuine, and competence. If you didn't memorize every single detail or definition on the first listen, please do not worry at all. You can easily rewind this audio tracking right now and listen to this word tour section again, slowly and calmly, repeating the sentences until they feel completely natural to your tongue.
Yes, absolutely. Take your time, step by step. And now, dear, amazing, hardworking listeners of the English Daily Podcast, It is time for your absolute favorite part of the entire episode. It is time for our daily comment challenge. Let's use active practice right now to lock these tips in your memory vault.
Yes, do not stay passive. Active practice is the magic key that opens the door to fluent speaking. Send your English brain to our warm daily fitness center right now by typing a short comment below this video. We have an exciting, encouraging challenge for you today.
Yes, today we want you to use your English brain and tell us just one tip from this episode that you like the most in the comment section below. Tell John and me if you like phrase blocks or 10 minutes of practice or the teddy bear professor method. Try to write just one simple sentence. For example, I like the 10-minute tip because it is realistic for my daily life.
Be exceptionally brave, everyone. Open that comments box, type your honest phrase, and hit send. Please listen to us. Do not worry about grammar mistakes or spelling errors. Our comment section is 100% safe, warm, and beautiful international community where thousands of English learners from all over the world read, support, smile, and learn from each other's sentences every single day. Your single comment might bring a huge wave of inspiration to another beginner student living halfway across the world today.
That is so true, John. Writing down your ideas connects the English language directly to your personal life and identity. It transforms you from a silent listener into an active, confident English creator.
Exactly, Sarah. And before we say our final goodbyes on this beautiful day, we want to leave you with one last encouraging thought to carry in your heart today. Learning a language is a steady marathon, not a fast, stressful sprint. You do not need to be a perfect superhero who speaks flawlessly today. You just need to show up, protect your fresh mornings, and practice for a few minutes.
Yes, even 10 short, focused, and happy minutes of practicing shadowing with our podcast or teaching your coffee cup a new phrase block can completely transform your understanding, your confidence, and your fluency over time. Consistency is the true magic formula, and John and I know without a single doubt in our hearts that you have the internal power to master this language.
We believe in you 100%. Thank you so much for choosing to spend this valuable, quiet time with us today on the English Daily Podcast. You did not waste these minutes. You invested them perfectly in your own education, your own future career, and your own personal growth. We are incredibly proud of your dedication.
Yes, we are so proud of you and your beautiful journey. I've been Sarah.
And I've been your host, John. Remember to focus on phrase blocks, celebrate your messy mistakes, protect your 10 fresh minutes, be kind to your mind, and we will see you in the very next episode of the English Daily Podcast. Bye-bye, everyone. Enjoy your English journey.
Bye-bye, everyone. Take care of yourselves and keep practicing.